A few months ago we explored something that was a myth and legend, a car collection that completely blindsided most with how incredible it was. The collection in question is not just a bunch of cars, but a barn find of epic proportions, an entire British Leyland dealership lost to time, cars with test mileage and cellophane still on the seats, parked up for 40 years, forgotten and lost to time. These cars would then be uncovered in 2024 with the mystery surrounding them captivating many, but the question was, where were they? Were they even real, or was it just another scam? Everything we thought we knew up until now about the most intriguing car collection ever appears to be solved. The Brits abroad are finally coming home. This is the story of the Great British Barn Find in Italy. The dealership lost to time, the origins of these cars, their story, and of course their homecoming. Hello everybody and welcome to this video on the Great British Barn Find. If you're not subscribed already, please make sure to do so. It really does help me out and you get to see more of this. More history videos, more cars and classics uncovered, and more projects. This video is the big pieced together full story on one of the greatest British barn finds ever. 12 cars seemingly abandoned in Italy, brand new. A dealership lost to time. Make sure to like the video if you liked it and share if you want other people to see it. Drop me a comment below on your theories, your thoughts, and do you have any British Leyland memories? But without further delay, let's get into this video on one of the coolest barn finds I've ever seen. To understand how the cars got there in the first place, we need to go back to where it all started. Back in the early 1980s, British Leyland had become Austin Rover. The chaos of the 1970s was over, and this ushered in a new, leaner company. Several major changes took place, including partnerships with the Japanese and Honda, because if you can't beat them, join them. Austin Rover had inherited several models from the BL Empire, as well as new ones. The Triumph Acclaim, the Rover SD1, tomorrow's car today, now in its Series 2 form, and of course, the Maestro and the Metro. The two mainstream cars with a tall task, to bring the ailing firm back to profitability. Austin Rover would inherit overseas operations as well, including arms all over Europe, and this is where our car's origin comes in. British Leyland had a strong presence on the continent, thanks to their export drive, in their export or die era. And one of those countries was Italy. While slimming down their operations to a degree after the sale of Innocenti, the company still had a good deal of presence in the country, but some have said that operations were quite disjointed, almost detached from their main British nucleus. With the disjointed operations in some places, this would lead to some interesting events, including dealerships divesting from the Austin Rover world, and with Austin Rover fairly uninterested in a buyback of stock, this would leave some cars abandoned. Now that we know about the general situation of the time, let's get into the cars themselves. The 12 cars in question were almost dormant for 40 years, moved to a secure storage location in Italy. Until a few months ago, a set of 12 images were posted online, taking the internet by storm. These were reported to be brand new British cars in Italy. These images included 5 Metros, one MG Maestro 1600, a Triumph Acclaim, an Austin Maestro L, 2 Rover SD1s, and a Matra Simca Bagheera, which was a bit random. But here was the main event. These cars look to have been transported to storage with their cellophane seat covers still on and abandoned, completely unregistered, with their original service and inspection stickers still intact, and of course their all-important mileage, reading just test mileage. Let's look at the individual cars themselves. Cars 1 and 2, Austin Metros, Mark 1s by the looks of it, one a Mayfair and one a HLE. Cars 3, 4 and 5 and 6 are also Metros. 3 is another Mayfair, 4 is an LS, but has sadly had its rear light lenses removed, and 6 is an Austin Metro Special. 5 looks to be a standard Metro from the time. Car number 7 is an MG Maestro EFI, a 1600, tying the car's origin to around the time period of 1983 to 84. A Triumph Acclaim also makes an appearance as car number 8. tying the collection perfectly to around 1983 to 84. Cars 9 and 10 are both Rover SD1s, a 2000 the 4-cylinder model, and an SD Turbo with a 2400 VM diesel unit. Car number 9 is sadly missing its rear bumper. Car number 11 is a weird one to me at least, and maybe someone could shed some more light on its relationship to the others. It's a Matra Simca Bagheera, a late model from the 90s. The final car is car number 12, an Austin Maestro. Could the Matra also be liquidated stock that was unwanted? Looking at the photos and examining records that we have, we dated these cars to 1984, and looking at Austin Rover dealers of the time, these cars were an entire dealership roster of the era. The centrepiece, the Rover SD1 Executive Express, with the ever-popular 2400 VM diesel, a common choice on the continent, especially with their adoption of diesel. The MG Maestro, the MG representative of the time, and the mainstream cars like the Acclaim, Maestro L, and of course the Metro. After many questions, even myself offering to fly to Italy, all went quiet. It appeared the cars were just another internet hoax to some. The original poster received that much abuse from the groups they deleted all traces of these cars. It appeared they would sit there and eventually be scrapped. After all, these cars couldn't be registered again in Italy due to their age, so they were worthless to most. Months went by and all settled down until a video was posted again by Alexander. Close-ups to verify, and of course that gauntlet throwdown of the printout calling out all the people who doubted his integrity. This was the first real evidence of these cars being tied to the poster, which verified that they were indeed real. And thanks to this we got even more detail. The walk-around showed all cars with the factory plastics still applied, but one key element was discovered. We knew these cars were in the region of Apulia, Italy, but the story wasn't clear until an eagle-eyed investigator spotted a sticker on the back of the Metro for a dealership called Leyland Autosport Nautica. After some research, the dealership was traced to Foggia, which meant the cars were nearby. This dealership supposedly changed its franchise and therefore its name, with the cars then sold off in bulk, which is how they ended up where they are today, in a somewhat liquidation limbo. It appeared though again the saga would be over. The closer we got, the further away the goalposts moved. All posts were deleted and the cars disappeared again. Until now. On the 18th of July 2025, Alexander would announce in the group that most of these cars had been sold and are now on their way back to the UK, with the cars finally seeing the sunlight after all these years. The Brits abroad are finally coming home. After all, it is near impossible, as mentioned earlier, to register brand new cars from 1984 in Italy, which of course made us fear that they would meet their end before ever seeing the road, which would be such a waste. But now, with the 5 cars now loaded onto a transporter, all appeared to be safe. They were bound for the UK, and now we have new photos available. We know these time capsules are on their way back to where they were all made, but the question is, what happens next? The cars are exactly as they were left, with the 2 Rover SD1s, the 2000 and 2400, the MG Maestro 1600, 1 Austin Metro and the Triumph Acclaim coming back to the UK. The other question is though, what about the rest of the cars? The other Metros, the Maestro L and the Matra Simca. Only one person knows what will happen next, the new owner. Will they be restored, parted out, or even turned into a museum, creating a snapshot of an old Austin Rover dealership with period correct, brand new cars? Only time will tell if the owner won't, and as always I'm interested. My contact details are in the description below, and after following this story since the beginning, piecing some of it together, I'd like to see it through to the very end, like we did with the lost Longbridge prototypes and RDX60. The most important thing now is the cars are safe and sound and on their way back home, free from vandals and all of the other undesirables that come with abandoned cars. Maybe after 40 years of darkness, they may be celebrated as the last of their kind, a true snapshot of what the world of BL and Austin Rover was like in the 1980s. Hopefully the other cars will find homes soon as well. And with that, it's the end of the video. What is your opinion on this find? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any more information or would like me to cover these cars in person, my contact details are in the description. This is one of the last videos in this series summarising this find, so I hope you've all found it informative, and hopefully we get to see these cars in the flesh. But as always, thank you for watching, keep watching, and remember to subscribe for more of this, and I'll see you in the next one.